It's Danielle. Thanks so much for tuning in. We're going to jump right in today. We only have 3 minutes, and I want to tackle the topic of inflation. And I know I've touched on it a bit in prior segments, but today we're going to spend the full 3 minutes on it. And so many of us have heard over and over again that real estate serves as an inflation hedge, but we're going to look at some actual stats and numbers that help support the asset class as far as real estate as a whole and the behaviors around it and how it's performed to actually have it categorized as an inflation hedge. So purely just an education piece. The first one I want to touch on is Yardi Matrix sent out a report, and it showed over the last 43 years how multifamily real estate have performed relative to inflation. So for multifamily, 37 out of the last 43 years, multifamily has outpaced inflation. So again, 37 out of 43, multifamily has outpaced. So that report is helpful and just kind of further supports why real estate is viewed as an inflation hedge. And that's because as inflation rises, you see appreciation in value, you see year-over-year rent growth, and those are some key reasons why it's categorized as such. The next we're going to dive into here are a couple slides that I want to talk about some specific stats. The first one, and we're just looking more recent in 2021, and the effects of inflation relative to multifamily. So the first one, national rents rising 13.5% year over year, which was an all-time high. And that was month over month rent growth of about 1.5% on average. Occupancy was up north of 96%. 2021, we had 600,000 units absorbed, and we still have a supply-demand mismatch or a deficit. And that was surpassing the all-time high for units absorbed. We have lifestyle rents that still continue to maintain the lead, which means people are choosing to live in multifamily spaces for access to the amenities, gym, clubhouse, pool, all those key reasons. And then to the right down here, you'll see this chart with the national average being right in the middle for year-over-year rent growth. You see all those markets to the left are actually achieving a higher than 13.5% year-over-year rent growth. So what is causing this kind of strong demand and this outperformance relative to inflation? It is the job growth, the insufficient supply relative to the demand, which we just talked about, and this real dense migration into multifamily as a whole. All right, you guys, our 3 minutes is up. So thank you so much for joining me. Because this is such an important topic and so top of mind for everyone right now, I am going to create a second video, so kind of a 2-part mini video series on inflation. And so please join me next week and we'll really dive in a bit deeper on the effects of inflation on multifamily investments. So until then, have a great week and thanks again for joining me.